Hi, thank you so much for joining me for day 10 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life, round 13. And today's sketch is by Lorraine Wilmott. I'll leave it in the top left-hand corner. And my takeaways from this sketch are that there are lots of gorgeous circles, which is my favourite shape, and plenty of photo mats behind a 4x6 photo. So that's what I'm working on. So this photo is of James. He just had his braces taken off last January, so I wanted to make sure that this was in our album. So I've chosen to use Vicki Boutin's print shop yet again, and I'm pulling out the navies. I'm once again doing a monochromatic layout. So I've just pulled out all the different blues from this collection, and I also dipped into Where to Next and pulled out that notebook piece from the Papyri paper pack. And I've pulled out another little ticket piece from that same pack, you'll see shortly. And then I did go through my scraps bin, although I really don't have many blues in my scraps bin. This ticket that I'm putting now is the one from the Papyri paper pack from Where to Next. So there's just one or two bits from my scrap bin which I'll mention as I come to them. So I'm just really enjoying building up this photo mat behind the photo of James. I purposefully haven't put a white border around the photo because I'm using that notebook paper, and these are all just scraps, and I'm trying to work with the shapes that I've got. So that first piece that I laid down with the torn edge, I just tore the last little bit off the corner to make it a diagonal, and I'm working with that. This piece that I'm playing with now is a scrap from my scraps bin. It's from Simple Stories. It was the baby collection, I forget now what it was called, Boho Baby. So I'm just adding that to the right hand side with that was the branding strip, and so is that hexagon piece, the branding strip from one of the print shop papers. And just layering these up so that you can't see any white behind, but they're pretty much butted up next to that paper rather than tucked underneath. And I'm really enjoying creating these layers with all these different blues. It's just a close-up of James's smile. I'd asked him to smile in the car so I could get a snap, and we had a record of his braces being taken off. So I'm still not quite sure about having that piece at the bottom there, and I do move that in the end to the top. But for now, I'm just gluing the other bits and pieces down to make this into a mat. I want to keep it as one single piece that I can remove from the background because I am going to be adding some stamping to this layout. Like I say, I'm just going to focus on the circles, and I do go a little bit circle crazy, you'll see shortly, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I do love using circles on my layouts. So just getting these strips stuck down, making sure that they're straight. I had a bit of trouble with this hexagon piece, and this is where I'm moving that Papyri paper piece up to the top, and it works much better up there as another layer, completing that top layer. So finally just adding this scalloped black and white to the bottom, so I just cut a strip off because I don't need more than that, and that finishes off that mat quite nicely. So this is where I see that that piece isn't quite straight, so I'm just peeling it back and realigning it. There we go, much better. So I'd cut these two circles from scraps from Print Shop. It's a die from Hero Arts that we sell at Hey Little Magpie. It's a gorgeous circle die, two different sizes. And then that little blue circle with the text is from my scrap bin. It was from the Heart Eyes collection from Simple Stories, as is that piece that I've just put at the bottom there. And I just used a 2-inch punch and a 1.5-inch punch to punch those two. Actually, no, it was a 1.5 and 1 1/4, I think. That label is just one of our printables from Hey Little Magpie. I can't remember which sheet it's from now, but just sticking that down. And then I love this little speech bubble fabric tab that I'm just adding to the top. Again, these are things that we sell at Hey Little Magpie in our bits and pieces collection. So I added wet glue to the back and then just used my tape runner to stick it to the front so that the glue didn't show through the ribbon. Still playing about with that label, not quite sure where I want that to go. And then I've got a fabric flare from Hey Little Magpie that says "Too Cute," and a camera wax seal that I've pre-made. So now I'm using this piece of card as a stencil. I just punched out a 1 1/4-inch circle from the card, and then I'm using this stamp that's from the Chamel main character energy set to use the grid to stamp through that stencil. You'll have seen me doing this before if you've watched any of my previous layouts. I just love how that looks. Now I'm bringing in this darkroom door stamp, again a concentric circles, so perfect for this layout. And I'm just going to have this running right the way down the centre. Obviously the photo is in the middle, so I don't need to worry about getting the stamp in the middle, so I'm just focusing on lining it up centrally at the bottom, and I'm using my Tim Holtz Tonic Studios matte glass mat to do that. It has markings along it so that you can find the centre of your card, which is brilliant. And then just adding it again at the top, and I wanted to make sure that these went off the edge of the paper. So really happy with how that looks, and it's chipped sapphire that I've used to stamp those in. So now repositioning those Hero Arts circles, and then coming down at the bottom, that little square is another label from our printables at Hey Little Magpie. The circle on the right hand side is a chipboard piece from Print Shop, or is it from where to? It might be, no, I think it's Print Shop. And then I'm just starting to position the other circles around the page, and then I can get them glued down. Now I pulled out the Simply the Best chipboard Flair because there was one that says high five and it's all navies, and I thought that worked nicely. This stamp that I've pulled out is from the Ellie Studio In Stitches stamp, I think it's called, stamp set, or Sewn Stitches, I forget now, but another circle which works nicely. And now I'm just going to get this glued down before I carry on. I decided that I was having a bit too many pieces in the background that were floating, so this gives me an idea of exactly where everything is and where it goes. So just once again putting those Hero Arts die cut pieces back, and then this label I decided is going to be added as a layer on the side of the photo. So just using a half on this side, and then I'll use the other half on the other side. So just getting it tucked in and straight. And then, as I say, this other half's going there. I did consider putting it at the bottom there, but decided on balance it's better on the left-hand side. I really like the vertical feel to this layout, so wanted to keep that. So just adding some glue to these two now so that they're stuck there. Of course, that one popped off. So just putting it back, and then I've used that blue circle just to hide where the glue fell on the card. So another one up here, and that just hides a little bit of stamping that didn't work perfectly at the top of that circle. I should have really put the stamp on a block. I was being a bit lazy, so the stamping wasn't the best when I was doing that stencil stamping. So deciding what to do now with these corners, and in the end I settle on that chipboard piece going behind there with the Flair badge on the wax seal badge on top. And that little blue heart is one of our new bits and pieces at Hey Little Magpie. It's a little suede heart with a heart stamped, heat stamped on it. It's beautiful. So just adding that. And the flare, I've decided that I want to add some tangled thread behind. So just some black cotton going behind that and using my glue to get that situated. And then adding that heart. So it's nearly all circles, but I have brought a couple of other shapes in as well, predominantly hearts, because he's my boy. So this stamp is one of the Kling Tim Holtz rubber stamps. I love this circle. So I'm using my, oh gosh, what's it called? I've got it here. It is Speckled Egg. I'm using my Speckled Egg ink there to stamp that. Just one at the bottom and one at the top. And again, taking it off the page so that these circles look as if they're going into infinity. So just having to peel that bit back a bit so that I can get that stamped down. And I'll glue that back in a sec. And I'm loving all these different tones of blues that are coming in now. So again, with that same ink, I've pulled out some circular stamps from Ellie Studio. And this one just says this. So I'm doing that in the pale blue, the Speckled Egg. And then I'm coming in with another one that says Smile, which I shall do again in the Speckled Egg, and then I add in the chipped sapphire. And on the right hand side here, I'm actually going to layer them. So I've got this in the blue, the pale blue, and then Smile in the darker blue there. So just one more at the top here. And the page is filling up very quickly. Every time I think I'm not going to add too many circles this time, I just keep going and going. So that camera wax seal, I do off camera, you'll see it in the close-ups at the very end, colouring the camera in gold just so that it stands out a little more. I felt it wasn't standing out enough as it was. That wood piece is one of James's JD3D laser cut wood veneer. and using the heart up there just to add that in. And this heart was cut from an LE Studio die a while ago. I just had it hanging out on my desk because I hadn't used it on that layout, so I added that. That sticker says Hello Love from the print shop collection, and then that's just another label that was half cut off from the print shop again, so I added that to the top along with this puffy word that says happy. I think that was a very old Jen Hadfield one that I just had hanging out. Again, it was just on my desk. I peeled it off a previous project that hadn't worked out. So this, just adding the chipboard thickers now to spell out yup, because James says that a lot. And I'm really low on these chipboard thickers, but I was thrilled to still have enough letters to spell that out. So I'm looking at the letters every day now and thinking, what else can I spell? There really aren't that many left. So this label just says for the record, and it's nice to bring a tiny bit of that yellow in because I'm going to add some gold as well. So that yellow just really pops against the rest of it. So using my roller date stamp to put the date, and then I'm going to add my journaling. And the journaling just simply reads, just look at that smile, your braces came off today, what a relief. So these gold glitter dots are, I think they were from the range maybe. I've got them years and years ago. So just adding a few of those around the page. I've got them in 2 sizes, so adding the larger ones first and then the smaller ones after. For those of you not in the UK, the range is just a general store really that sells craft stuff and furniture and furnishings. That label at the top says today. I just spotted that out the corner of my eye while I was adding these gold dots, so that went on as well. And then I'm going to come in with some splatters to finish. And that's it. So please do stay and check out the close-ups at the end. Thank you so much for joining me. I love having your comments. So do, if you have any questions, just ask in the comments box and I shall reply to you as soon as I can. And other than that, please check the description box down below to see the playlist of everybody else joining in on this fabulous hop. And I shall add Lorraine Wilmott's details down there as well so that you can check her out. She's the sketch creator. Just adding some of these hole reinforcers in black. That's another thing that I do love to do, especially when I'm doing a circular layout. So I just bend them up in the centre and then add the glue on that crease, and it just gives a bit more movement again to the layout. So some more tangled thread in the top right hand corner. I'd forgotten about that. Underneath that little cluster of hearts and words. So just squirting in a bit of wet glue to keep that in place. And now I am covering my fabric flare and then the photos so that I can go with my gold splatters. And that's it. Thanks again for joining me. I do hope to see you again very soon. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you tomorrow for day 11. Thanks again. Bye.